You're tuned in to a Georgian College podcast, brought to you by the School of Computer Studies. Hey, so welcome back, and now at this point we're going to go where we left off in the last screencast. And in the last screencast we began working on the code, and I showed how to change the template code so that now we have a box that is half red, half white. But the idea here is now we're going to put in my logo, and we're going to work off our planning that we did back in the third screencast. And so we look at that work that we did, and here it is, right? We said we looked at how to make a fill style, then doing the filling in the rectangle. So let's start with that. Let's start with that particular part of the logo. Hang on, just looking for that. And let me just pull that up. There we go. So this is where we left off last time. We're just going to make that a bit bigger. So I would suggest that that you begin to set up some colors you're going to use as variables, because it will make it a lot easier later on to use colors. So we'll set up a white. All right. Now, if you don't know what the RGBs are of colors, I'm gonna be giving you a link to a page that kind of gives you some of that. All right. So yellow is red and green together, like mixing paint. All right, so now I have a dark blue, I have a dark red, I have a black, and I have a white and a yellow with correcting the spelling. There we go. Now I have some colors, and I'm just going to start over. All right, so now if I just save this, and we just go back and reload this. Notice that I don't have anything, so we got a blank canvas right now. All I've done with my JavaScript is set up some variable. So I'm going to now get started with creating my logo. So the first thing, again, you have to say CTX, because that's where you're going to send the commands to. And I want to choose my fill color, my fill style. In this case, I want a dark red color, and then I'm going to send the command to create a filled rectangle. And again, the first two is the top left corner of the rectangle, and we can look at what we planned back in the third podcast, and we specified that, hey, look, that's what we need. Fill rect 100 100, then the width and height, which is 200 200. So let's go back to our JavaScript. There we go. 100 100, 200 200. Don't forget the semicolon at the very end. That is JavaScript's period at the end. All right, so we'll save that. We'll go back here and we'll reload. And there we go. Now I want a stroked outline for this rectangle, for this square. So let's just go back here, and I want to make sure that my stroke style, the color of my lines, is black. All right. And I can also pick the width, the line width of that stroke, of that outline, and I'm going to say I want it 4.04. All right, so I'm going to copy this line because it's the exact same measurements that I need. Instead of now saying fill rect, I'm going to say stroke rectangle, stroke rect. All right, so if you notice, exact same, except that I have a stroke rect instead of a fill rect. Save that. Come back here to my browser, reload, and notice that there is now a black outline. If I change that to say 20 for my line width, watch what happens. Saved it, reload now, and there goes my line width of 20. All right, so let's go back to a more subtle line width, back to 4, reload this, saved it, reload it, and that's my line width. All right, so you can change the line width, you can change the color of the line. All right, so I have that. Next thing I want to do is the lines. I want to change the lines. No, sorry, I want to add the lines, the diagonal lines. There's 2 of them, and the way we do it is by well, it's called it's basically drawing the lines here. I'm going to copy this because this is what we, well, you know what, no, we're going to start again. Now I want the line width for these lines, for diagonal line, you know, at 2 instead of 4. We're going to keep it black so we don't have to change this, the stroke style. In order to draw lines, we will have to do send in a command called begin path, and now we're going to do those cross lines. So I'm going to move the pen to 100 100 because that's one of the points in the line, and then I'm going to draw it right to the other corner of the square, and then we'll cover that with the circle later on so it hides the actual line. So that's 303. Oh, sorry. We do a move to, so put the point down, and then we do a line to, which is 300. So draw a line to this. Next, we're going to move the pen again, and this time I'm going to put it at 100 100 300, which is the bottom left corner of the square. And now I'm going to move I'm going to say make a line to this point, which is going to be 300 100, which is the other corner of the square. And then I'm going to tell it that I'm done specifying lines. I'm going to close the path, and the last thing we do is say, hey, draw a line, stroke. All right, so we've gone draw the line, save that, moving over to the browser, reloading, and there we go. Okay, now again, this is the we're building it as we go. Note that this is what we want it to look at, so that's the final, and this is where we're at now. Now we're going to draw that the next thing is a white circle in the middle. So white circle in the middle, and here's the drawing circle that we decided on. So let me build that for you. Drawing the big circle. I'm going to keep the stroke the same, the line and the color of it, but I do want to change the fill. I want that bigger circle to have a white. All right. next thing I want to do is I want to begin a path. And really what we want to do is we're going to ask it to draw an arc. And so a circle is just a complete arc. And I have to tell it to the center of the circle. In this case, our center that we worked on before, we already specified, was right in the middle, which is 200, 200. And just to remind us what the radius was, the radius we said it was 60, 60 for the bigger one. So 60 for that big circle, 60. We start at 0 degrees to 6.28, which is really 2 times pi. And then once we close the path, it will make sure that it closes all the way in. And we're going to say fill it, fill that circle, color it in white, and we want an outline of the circle, so we'll say stroke. Save it, back to here, reload. Okay, so now we got that circle. Again, we're getting closer to what we want, and I'm switching to what we're working on right now. So the next thing is this inner circle inside. One inside the red circle. So we'll say drawing the inner circle. It's red, so I want to change the fill style to dark red. It's the same, the bigger circle and the inner circle share the same center, so we can leave that alone. The radius is 40. The 0 to 6.28 doesn't change because they're both circles. And I do want a fill and I do want a stroke, so save that. Move on to here, and I'm going to reload. And now I got that red circle in the middle. Okay, so we're getting closer to that. All right, and now we want to draw in the smaller circles. And at this point, what we want to do, it's going to be again same as it's the same as the white. So I'm going to copy the code for that, because they're going to be white circles. It's going to be 4 of them, and they have a radius of 10. So let me change that now. And now it's just a matter of locating them. So when I look at my sketch, I know it's the x is 200 and the y is 120. Right? So I got that directly from my sketch that's on the grid. Saved it. Come back here, we're going to reload, and I got it in the right place. All right, so that's 1. Let's draw the other ones. So I'm just going to copy that because again it's very similar. The only thing that's going to change now is the actual location, the center of the next little tiny circle, and I'm going to go in a clockwise direction. So I've calculated this before, so it's 280 for the x and it's 200 for the y. Save that and we'll reload. All right, so getting closer. So here's the final one, right? And there we go. We're getting closer to it. All right, so we'll do another paste. So we're going clockwise. So the next one down, the x is also 200, 280 for the y of that next tiny circle. There we go. One last one. We'll copy, we'll paste it again. So this time around, the x is 120 and the y is 200. Save that. And one more reload. And there you go. Almost there, except for the G.